we did promise Beast, Tendai Mtawarira, will be talking to us, and he's joining us now via our video line. We are discussing the curling champions match that will be taking place tomorrow at Loftus Versfeld in Pretoria. So it's basically Team South Africa, the champions team, up against Kenya in that match. And Beast is going to be explaining to us exactly how that is going to work. And a little bit later, we might be talking other things as well. Tendai Mtawarira, welcome to the AM Report. Firstly, what is the curling champions match? Where does it come from?
Yeah, so now thank you so much for having me this morning. Yeah, so the curling champions match is arguably one of the biggest innovations in the rugby space. And it's usually exciting, because, the fans are actually involved in selecting the players, for the champions team. And, so I think it's going to be quite, a big encounter against Kenya on Saturday. And, I'm excited to be a part of it.
And it comes at a time, Beast, where fans have not had much power in sport. They haven't really felt a part of sport for the longest of time, and this gives them exactly that.
Yeah, this definitely gives them that power, and I think the game of rugby doesn't have its soul without the fans being in the stands. And I think it's something that we have really missed over the past year. We watched a lot of Currie Cup games where the stadiums were empty. We even watched the British Irish Lions series with no fans, and I can tell you, for the players, it's not as inspiring, man. So fans being back in the stadium and getting involved like this is usually exciting, and it brings the game rugby to where it's supposed to be.
Are you happy with the selection they made? I saw the team was announced yesterday, I think.
Yes, yeah, and I'm very impressed with with the selection. There's a lot of young talent in there. I think it just shows the depth we have in South Africa at the moment in terms of players. So I'm very excited about the future of SA Rugby and the future of Springbok Rugby, because these guys will become the next Springboks. And guys like Ntutuku Mtunu and Nama Kaba, there's a lot of talent. I'm excited to just witness them, get stuck in tomorrow.
And also not surprising to see the Bulls and Sharks dominating that lineup, Beast.
Yeah, it's no surprise, because the two franchises, they have been quite dominant, over a long season. And I think, they've just been consistent in their performances. So, most of the players in those teams got the reward of being selected by the fans into the squad. So, it's exciting. I can't wait to see them play tomorrow.
And Jake White will be at the helm there, a World Cup winning coach. No better coach, one would say, or as the leader of that team.
Yeah, I think Jake, brings a lot of experience. He won the World Cup in 2007 with the Boca. So, he's been all over the world, so he's got a lot of knowledge and wisdom. So he'll be able to impart some of that, into this young group, So it's an invaluable experience for the guys, to have a coach of his caliber.
All right. Beast, before I let you go, it would be remiss if I don't ask you about the big game also being played tomorrow against Wales, the Springboks. And I'm sure you miss being in the green and gold of South Africa.
Yeah, I always have moments where I go down memory lane, and I watch the guys, for instance, playing against the All Blacks, and they won, and I remembered how special a feeling it is, to beat the All Blacks, So I do, miss that, but I'm quite content because I was blessed to have, a long career, so I achieved everything, I'd ever thought of, it was beyond my wildest dreams. So now my turn is to be a fan. So I think on tomorrow, I think the Boca know exactly, what's coming. The Welsh are hurting after, a big defeat last week, against New Zealand. So it's going to be a tough encounter. So we're going to have to break them down. But I believe the Boca will come out on top.
Not only are they hurting because of that, Beast, they're also hurting because we beat them at the World Cup in the semis. And I think one of the few times that we managed to beat Wales, a very close one also, So it's really important for Jacques Nienaber to dig deep here with his team.
Yeah, certainly. I think, Jacques, he's a great planner, so he would have already come up with a solid strategy for this match. And he knows that, there's obviously a lot of history between the two teams. And I think the last time we won in Wales and Principality Stadium was back in 2013. So it's also a big occasion for us because we want to turn that around. So for them, they want to avenge for their loss in the semi-final in Japan. But yeah, so I think the best team will come out on top. And I believe that, we've got the weapons to defeat them.
And this end of year tour, or the outgoing tour as some call it, has not been the best hunting ground for us, if I can put it like that, over the years. We know that last year there wasn't much rugby played. But how important is it to win all three of our matches in this tour? We're starting with Wales and then Scotland and then finishing with England at Twickenham.
I think it's hugely important, to go out and win all three games. I think, we were disappointed that we actually didn't win their championship. So this is another, big carrot, that's being dangled in front of us. And I think we're capable of, completing the task. So, if we win all three games, then we possibly retain that number one status. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of motivation on the guys to make sure that they perform on this tour.
And I asked you about the selection in the Champions match. I'm asking you about the selection here. There's a lot of talk about Juan Farsi and why he's not in the starting 15 for this match. Your sentiments on that?
I think, Coach Jacques and Rassi, they've got a plan in place. And, yes, Farsi, he is well deserving of his opportunity. He's a hugely talented young fella, and I played with him, and a great kid. So it's just that they don't want to chuck him in the deep end because, this game is going to be probably might go down to the wire, who knows. So it's going to be a really tough test match. So you always got to make sure that you manage Farsi. You don't want him to necessarily, go and play in a big test match and then he loses confidence, maybe makes a few mistakes. But, they will manage that and possibly give him a chance maybe against Scotland. I think Scotland is a better team for him, and he'll be able to run around and obviously play the expansive game that he loves to play. So I think it's important. So I believe in Jacques and Rassi's plan. So he will definitely get his opportunity real soon.
Lastly, Beast, this year was the first time that the Springboks stepped onto the pitch and played a competitive match since you played, actually, in that World Cup final in Yokohama in November 2019. What have you made of the Springbok comeback, as it were?
I think it's been awesome. I think, we were, on the outskirts last year. We didn't manage to play any test match rugby. So now we got back onto the field and, we got to play against the British Irish Lions, after a lot of speculation that the tour might not carry on. So we were able to win that, which is huge, a tournament or tour that only happens every 12 years, So I was so happy that we won that. And then, we obviously lost a little bit more momentum in the championship, but I think we've regained it now, and the guys are playing with a lot of confidence. So, yeah, I think it's important for the Bokke to be on the field. The world of rugby is not the same without the Springboks playing. So I'm really happy that they're back on the field.
All right, Tendai Mtawarira, thank you so much for your time this morning. I think it's important you come into studio next time. I'll tell you why. But thank you so much. A World Cup winner. He said it himself. He's achieved everything there is to achieve in the world of rugby.